It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Karen, okay. Karen asked a good question. It's sort of an investing question. I'm hoping to retire in 3 years, 36 months of retirement. My portfolio is mostly in stock index funds. Should I be worried? So let me go ahead and give all the disclaimers before you give all the answers. Karen, we don't know your specific situation. We don't know the unique things about your circumstance that make your circumstance unique. So we can't give specific directed investment advice, allocation advice, construction advice. However, I hope what Brian's going to share are some general principles that someone approaching 3 years away from retirement should be thinking about and thinking through.
I think it's interesting. I think the timing couldn't be better in the fact that we've had volatility in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
That people, and it's always amazing, everybody thinks they're going to the moon with their portfolio until we hit periods of volatility.
Until we're not.
And then people realize, yes, it's great that the financial markets make, over time make 10, 11, 12%, depending upon which, period of time you're looking at. But it's not all smooth sailing. And I talk about that all the time with you. You once again have the yo-yo that you're throwing up and down. That's the daily volatility, meaning the stock market goes up and down on a daily basis. But as you walk to higher ground over the long term, as you climb the mountain, that volatility means less and less. But there is a component on this, is that wealth creation is a maximizing thing. And when you're younger, we build this into a lot of our content and so forth. I want you trying to maximize what you can create and create your army of dollars growing exponentially. But then wealth creation is one thing. There's wealth preservation and keeping wealth. And we know the stat that 80+% of millionaires are first generation, meaning that they had it, their parents didn't pass it down to them. The only way that stat can be real is if that means the second and third generation, meaning the kids of that millionaire who makes it and their grandkids, wash through it really quickly. And I think that's why wealth preservation is also a skill set that everybody needs to be very concerned about. And I worry about somebody like Karen. I give you credit. You're thinking about this 3 years before you retire. So kudos that you're actually putting planning into this. But if you're 100% equity 3 years before retirement, that's bold. I mean, that's one of those things where, when I used to do 401k presentations, enrollment meetings, and I would see, the 50-something-year-old who was buying all the info and tech fund, and I'd be like, is this really what you want to do? He goes, man, I got a lot of ground I got to make up. I didn't start saving until I was 45 years old, so I need this thing to boom. That's a desperate act. And I don't know what Karen has in assets, but you need to figure out there is a dance between what are your goals? Because what's the whole purpose of why do you even save money? What's the why on your portfolios? Hopefully it's going to replace what you make with your labor and allow you to control time on your terms. You're going to have to do some work. You got to figure out the equation, figure out what you need. And you know what that means? That means you have to graduate to the level of abundance cycle that you probably work with somebody who stress tests your retirement plan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brian, I love that you approach the behavioral, the touchy-feely part of that question. I'm thinking about it from an analytical standpoint. When it comes to like portfolio construction, there are two components you really have to take in. And one of the things you have to get right on the front end of portfolio construction, whenever you're looking at portfolio, is risk. You have to get that part right. Well, there are two components to risk. There is risk tolerance, and then there's risk capacity. Risk tolerance is how much can I handle? How much volatility am I comfortable with? How much will keep me up at night? And then risk capacity is truly what Brian just said. How much risk can my portfolio actually handle to still allow me to do the things I want to do? While you may have all the tolerance in the world, being 3 years away from retirement with a full equity index portfolio, if we did see a 2008, if we did see a COVID downturn, if we did see a dot-com bubble burst, Can your portfolio withstand that and still provide the level of lifestyle that you're hoping to achieve? That is where a professional can step in and help you answer that. Just because you're okay with the risk doesn't mean that you should be okay with the risk, and vice versa is true. Folks, you likely shouldn't retire and take all your money out of the equity index funds and put it all in a coffee can in the backyard. That probably would not satisfy the capacity for risk inside your portfolio either. So you have to make sure you get both sides of that equation right, especially before you make a huge life decision like leaving the workforce and counting on your money to start working for you.